بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على خاتم المرسلين. سيداتي سادتي أعزائي الطلاب والطاقم التعليمي لجورجتاون، أتقدم بخالص التحيات والشكر لحضوركم تدشين مجلة محفظة جورجتاون. لقد أنشأت مجموعة جورجتاون للاستثمار لثلاث أهداف. الهدف الأول هو تعزيز الثقافة الاستثمارية في حدود دولة قطر وخارجها، والهدف الثاني هو تعزيز العلاقات بين الكيان التعليمي في قطر والأجهزة الاقتصادية والمالية في الدوحة وخارجها، والهدف الثالث والأخير هو منح الطلاب المكونين لمجموعة جورجتاون الاستثمارية الفرصة للاتصال بتلك الكيانات وبناء الآفاق الاقتصادية بالتزامن مع رؤية صاحب السمو الأمير تميم بن حمد آل ثاني. سوف تستمر مجموعة جورجتاون الاستثمارية بالعهد تجاه جميع الأطراف لتكون مساهمة في تنمية الثقافة الاستثمارية. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inauguration of the Georgetown Portfolio magazine. We are very thankful for your presence here tonight and appreciative of the University of Georgetown and its truly outstanding faculty for the support which we have received. Georgetown Investment Association's humble beginnings laid in three cornerstones. The first is to promote and propagate the investment culture and strategies within the borders of the state of Qatar and internationally. The second cornerstone laid in the creating a lasting bond between both the educational and financial bodies within the state of Qatar and internationally. The third cornerstone pertained to the supplementation of Georgetown Investment Association's alumni with experiential integration in the financial sectors, providing a workforce that is worthy of the vision of His Highness the Emir Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani of Qatar 2030. Now I'd like to take the opportunity to present to you Dean Shivitz, who will be taking the stage now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abdullah. Dear guests, students, faculty, and staff, thank you for joining us this evening to celebrate the launch of the Georgetown Portfolio magazine, a publication of the student-led Georgetown Investment Association, which offers students a hands-on approach to tackle the same opportunities and risks present in global investment, such as creating mock stock portfolios, developing and pitching investment ideas. The Georgetown Investment Association was launched and is spearheaded by its chair, Mr. Abdullah Zidan, a rising sophomore at Georgetown, Qatar. Abdullah tributes the outstanding prescience of His Highness the Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani's 2030 vision on Qatar's economy as a principal inspiration to the Qatari millennial generation eager to fervently play a part in realizing this vision. All who know Abdullah know his deep passion for all things finance. Trading, real estate, private equity, venture capital, and executing his passion, he rallied the best and brightest students across our four majors, launching a key student-led platform for sharp and keen, financially minded Georgetown students, giving rise to the Georgetown Portfolio magazine. Incorporating first-hand expert voices, opinions, and tips from global leaders, the new Georgetown Portfolio magazine provides an in-depth look at various aspects of investing, global financial markets, portfolio theories, and money management techniques, contributing to the investment knowledge throughout Education City and the Qatar community. Please join me to praise and applaud our diligent Georgetown Investment Association First Student Advisory Board, Chairman Abdullah Zidan, CEO Malek Deeb, please stand, Chief Economist, Wessam Keynes. Chief Advisor, Omar Al-Khatib. Chief Operating Officer, Suhaib Tahir. Editor-in-Chief, Irisad Iskandar. And please, would the entire team stand for acknowledgement? Communications, events. Thank you. To mark the launch and celebration of this Georgetown Portfolio magazine, it is with great pleasure that I introduce to you our guest speaker, Mr. Rashid Al-Mansoori, the Chief Executive Officer and Board Member of the Qatar Stock Exchange and Director of World Federation of Exchanges. A graduate of Management and Computer Sciences at the Metropolitan State University, Denver, Colorado, his impressive career and credentials include representation of the Education and Health Fund, Ministry of Finance, the Director of the Dala Brokerage and Investments Holding Company. Mr. Al-Mansoori is the lead spokesperson for the Qatari investment climate, and he personally oversaw Qatar Stock Exchange enrollment into the Morgan Stanley Corporate Index as a fully fledged emerging market, attaining a 20 billion capital flow into the Qatar markets. So please welcome Mr. Al-Mansoori. Thank you. Thank you.
شكرا.
Okay.
الله يمسيكم بالخير.
So, dear Mr. Al-Mansoori, thank you for being here. We have received a number of questions that reflect the interests of our Georgetown and larger community for you this evening. To begin, what is the Qatar Stock Exchange and what is its regulatory role in the enlisting of corporations in the state of Qatar?
Thank you very much. First of all, I just would like to say a few words. Thank you very much for inviting me. And thank you for Abdullah. He never gave up, you know, since I know him for almost now 1 or 2 years. And I'm happy also to know that you have investment group here that I would like to invite them to Qatar Stock Exchange one day to come and discuss with my team how can we cooperate. And I really fully support this new initiative of the Portfolio magazine. And if we can contribute in any way, we'll be happy to do so. Going back, and I don't know how much you know about Qatar Stock Exchange, if I can say just a few words about it. Qatar Stock Exchange is the second largest stock market in the Arab world after Tadawul, Saudi Arabia. It was established in 1995. We have 43 companies listed, and we have 11 brokers locally. Our capital market, our market cap is about 550 billion Qatari riyal, almost a little less than $200 billion. And we, as it was mentioned, we just gained the emerging market status, and that was a real hard work between the Qatar Stock Exchange and the government, and that means a lot of fund flowing and a lot of foreign investment flowing into Qatar. We are supporting, of course, Qatar National Vision 2030. Going back to your question, what is Qatar Stock Exchange? I'm sure you know, everybody almost know about it. Qatar Stock Exchange is, you can say, it is the platform to support Qatar economy, and where it's a venue for capital formation and capital allocation. We play more than one role in the market. After the capital formation and capital allocation, also we see the, of course, daily trading in the market through a platform where there is efficiency, transparency, and fairness for all investors. Qatar stock market, it used to be self-regulated. Is this part of your question? I think it was. But since we formed the Qatar Financial Market, which is abbreviated QFMA, Qatar Financial Market Authority, which is one of the requirement from the ISCO or also the World Federation of Exchange to be member to have independent regulators. Still some stock exchanges have what they call SRO, they are self-regulated, but also there must be other party looking to this operation of the stock exchange.
So, Mr. Al-Mansoori, you have been the CEO of Qatar Stock Exchange for 5 years now.
Yeah.
How many company IPOs, initial private offerings, did you oversee?
Okay, well, that's a good question, and I wish I can tell you 10 or 20, but actually, Qatar stock market, we've been really, seeking listing and IPOs, but there is few challenges that we face. Of course, we have the government privatization part, where the government, try, to list their own holding of companies, and also there is what we call it family-owned companies. And we are seeking both. We know that the government, they have their own plan, so they don't have to, we need to push them. But also we are trying to encourage them to do listing fast. So they have, 2 years ago, they listed Saeed Petrochemical Company. That's the only one we saw. So that's one I witnessed. But the good news is that we have few companies this year in the pipeline, so keep your money ready. So, so we have a number of companies this year. We are facing challenges, and maybe the school, and the student really help us, The family-owned company, there's a big family-owned companies in Qatar, and they form 90% of the non-hydrocarbon services and product. We know the government mainly in the oil part, but the family-owned mainly in services, retail, etc. And we are seeking those to list. But they are still really not fully convinced. And I think because some of them, worrying about losing control over the company, because there's new board governance, and we're trying to take this fear away from them. And of course, regulatory disclosure of information, they still doesn't understand the need of this for the market. But we try to give some examples, just take any company. We try to tell them, just look, for example, to company like, for example, Zara. I'm sure you know Zara. They have ladies here and men also. When it was established, the founder worth, I think in the first 2 weeks, if I remember, more than 20% increase in his worth after listing. So we try to send this message to them. And we are trying to use some example when you say, okay, when the company was listed, for example, for 10 riyal, now some company share is 100 riyal or more. So it's worth increase, but still there is some challenges.
So about the IPOs, can we count on having it listed first at the Georgetown Portfolio magazine?
Yeah, why not? Of course.
So along these same lines, can you tell us a little bit about the regulatory and transparency changes you've alluded to just now that you have witnessed at the Qatar Stock Exchange over the years?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, we have three parts of the capital market. Okay, the Qatar Stock Exchange, the central bank, and the regulator, QFMA. And we have other regulator, but it is in different form, which is QFCRA, part of Qatar Financial Center also. Of course, there is each company has, there is a listing rule, and there is, of course, governance for the company where they must disclose their information, okay? So we and the regulator, we are encouraging and monitoring the disclosure of information to be transparent and for everybody. So if you go to Qatar Stock Market website or mobile application, which I really encourage you to download if you don't have it yet, And you see all the disclosure there, the information is there. So we witness a lot of improvement on that side. And the companies all are, stick to this rule and disclose information and very transparent.
So knowing this, how would you define the investing climate in Qatar?
As I witnessed, in Qatar, one of the, I would say, safest haven for investment in the region. Very politically stable. Through the history, through all the economic turbulence, whether their economy is stable or growing. So the investment climate is very encouraging. Of course, we know a few things going around us right now, from geopolitical things like what's going on with Syria and Yemen and other things. It's really, there is fear in the. We say in Arabic, capital is coward. So I don't know how they say it in English, but بالعربي حنقول راس المال جبان. So they need to make sure, but still, we see now, even lately we saw, maybe the beginning of the year, the volumes were not what we expected, but if you see lately, the index is, is going up, and we have, of course, good volumes. And I think we had a great volume today, maybe because I'm coming here.
Certainly, I agree. So following off of the investment climate, what do foreign investors, do they have incentives to invest in the Qatar Stock Exchange, considering the climate that you described?
Yes, I mean, maybe one part of us getting the upgrade to the emerging market, that we have to increase what we call FOL, foreign ownership limit. And since we opened more for the foreigners to invest, and also since we got the upgrade to the emerging market, the first quarter of 2014, the number of accounts opened in the first quarter equal to the number of accounts opened in the whole year of 2013. That means the foreign investors are, very interested in Qatar market and this upgrade. And we saw the volume in 2014, the average daily volume almost 900 million riyal daily. But of course, the geopolitical things, around us, and shortage of IPOs doesn't help us enough.
Okay, so we have the geopolitical, the IPOs, and then on the minds, of course, is also, in your estimation, what is the effect of the oil supply glut on the Qatar Exchange?
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I guess the staff structure, employment policy, larger macro implications.
Of course, it doesn't affect our staff structure, but of course we are kind of watching our spending. However, of course the oil prices, affected all the markets, whether it's the GCC producing or non-producing companies, all affected by this, and we saw the drop. But really, it's not with the same drop. We saw the oil price drop to 50, but the market dropped like 15%, which is really we can manage. But we are expenses conscious because we need to make sure that our spending and expenses at the stock exchange really just monitored and not do something that is not in our favor.
So in terms of the employment policy, as a dean, perhaps students in the Georgetown Investment Association might be interested in internships.
Of course. I really would like to invite some of your students to come, because every year we have MOUs with a number of universities in Qatar. Your name is Qatar University, Carnegie Mellon, North Atlantic. And of course, we welcome you to come and to learn and we learn from you. I mean, student, you know, it can bring you big ideas, you know.
Yes.
Microsoft come from college or be student who didn't go to college.
It's true.
I remember my son, you know, when I asked him to go to the college, he said, "No, Dad, I don't want to go to college. I need your garage." I heard something, but I said, "We'll not work here." Yeah, you are welcome to come. We can take some number. We already have number already signed, but of course, welcome.
Thank you. So circling back, does the Qatar Stock Exchange permit or plan to permit, and this is in terms of trading, electronic or algorithmic trading machines to operate in the stock exchange?
If you are talking about high frequency trading, not yet. There is some kind of some of the brokers are trying to test this, but I think the market is not mature enough in the region completely to permit this.
An interesting question that we received is also if there are plans in the Qatar Stock Exchange to introduce margin trading. And if so, what mechanism will the Qatar Stock Exchange use to regulate it? And if not, why?
Well, the good news, yes, we have margin trading, and we already have number of brokers who applied, so they're approved by the regulator. And of course, we monitor it. You know, we need to make sure actually the regulation is not done by us. We have what we call market surveillance, but the regulation is done by the regulator, which is QFMA. But we assist in monitoring the capital adequacy of the brokers and other things that we are required to monitor. But actually, it's the regulator who's monitor this. But the good news, we think margin trading will help the market, and we think it will boost trading. I don't know about the investment committee, if I agree with me, it will boost the trading by from 10 to 20%. Do you agree? Okay, good.
So along these lines, can you please explain the 10% limit up or limit down to the Qatar Exchange stocks? And what protection does this give to retail investors?
Yeah, okay. There is different method or philosophy on the threshold of trading. We see some stock exchange, I think like New York Stock Exchange or others, where where there is no limit, but they have what they call circuit breakers. So just to hold the market, and you know, many things could go wrong if there is no limit for the market. Market manipulation, other things, you know. So the meaning of this is to make threshold up and down, so we control the market and to not make it too volatile market, and also to eliminate market manipulation. That's the main things. We know there is some stock exchange where they use what we call circuit breakers. Also, if the stock exceed some certain limit, they will hold trading for number of time, for maybe 30 minutes or so. And if the whole index goes somewhere, they could hold the market also. That's to protect the investor and the market.
It's interesting. Can you talk a little bit about a student competition that you mentioned, or that was mentioned in The Economist, set up by the Qatar Stock Exchange, interested in developing young minds in Education City? Can you expand on that initiative?
Yes, we have initiative really to, we saw different initiative, and I was honored to be one of the judge at North Atlantic College, and we have the idea to have some competition because we believe in the student. We believe in the new generation and with their ideas. Okay, we say young minds is the future leaders. So I think we are working with different schools, and we hope your school will participate on this We're still cooking it.
Okay.
And it will be, we will call it the economist, or maybe we can also, it's in early stages. This is really to create a competition between all the college in Qatar. We might open it for the GCC, but the idea now is to, we talked already to a number of universities like Qatar University, North Atlantic, and of course, we would like to talk to you and see, and we'd like to seek the assistance from the expert in the school also, you know, the staff, to help us to form the cases. We do a case ourselves, we have some cases, but we will, we might call it the economist, which is the prize for the college and the student and the team and the judge, of course.
That sounds like a terrific initiative.
Yes, so you are ready to participate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's ask the students.
Good.
What do you think? Yeah. Okay.
Ready? You think you can win? Okay.
Absolutely. We're in. So, what are the limitations that the Qatar Stock Exchange places to Qatari companies to ensure sustainable and robust development in accordance, of course, with His Highness the Emir's Sheikh Tamim's vision of Qatar's 2030 and the 2030 economy?
If you follow the news lately, maybe a few months ago, Qatar Stock Exchange joined the United Nations Initiative for Sustainable Stock Exchange. So that's our contribution to this. And also, at the end of the year, we're going to have what we call a gathering or conference with the company in this regard. Of course, we'd like a student to join us and come to these events. So we are playing part in the sustainability and also in the CSR. Well, thank you for the invitation. I'm really honored to be here tonight. Thank you for all of you for taking the time and to listen to me. And also I would like to invite you all to come and take a tour in Qatar Stock Exchange one day, because your school is about economics and politics, and that's what we do, both. Thank you very much.
Thank you.